Hey y'all, we're making candy tonight. We've working on Christmas candy night, and we're making. I know I say this every time about a recipe, but it's one of my favorites. They're all my favorites. We're making peanut butter balls. Some people call them Buckeyes. We call them peanut butter balls in my house. So, and there are 3 ingredients. Is all this takes.
I love recipes like this, y'all.
Peanut butter.
Okay.
And butter.
Okay.
And powdered sugar. So I said there's only 3, but I guess you could say there's 4 because you have chocolate. You're going to dip them in chocolate.
I'm going to dip them in chocolate.
I like using this kind of chocolate. I get it at the grocery store, the Candy Quick, or I just bought some at Sam's. They have the Ghirardelli melting chocolates, the little round wafers. That's another really good one to use.
I can never say that.
Ghirardelli or Ghirardelli. I'm not sure. Someone might correct us.
It's good chocolate, y'all. It's good chocolate.
I've been there. I've been to the Ghirardelli store in San Francisco.
Oh,
yes.
Neat.
But anyway,
her world travels.
So what you do is 1 cup of peanut butter.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I need a
spatula,
little spatula or a knife or something I don't want to lose any of this peanut butter goodness.
Oh, the yummy goodness of the peanut butter.
Ooh. And you've probably heard me say this before too, but I love peanut butter.
Yes.
1 stick of butter. You can you can double this, triple this, or half this.
Is this just a single recipe?
This is 1 single recipe.
Okay.
And 2 cups of powdered sugar.
Okay.
And I like to use my hands and just get right in there and start mixing it up with my hands.
You're just going to did our Martha Washington balls a while ago.
That's the best way, just to get your hands dirty. And not really dirty, but
get them all messy. It's messy.
It does take just a minute or 2 to mix it all together. So you're just going to keep going till you get it all together. Get that peanut butter blended in.
I can't believe it's just 3 ingredients.
That's it. I know.
I've never made these.
I don't know. I can't believe you've never made these.
I know, and my husband loves peanut butter, y'all.
Me too.
Peanut butter is its own food group at our house. He loves some peanut butter.
I always have. If I can't find anything to eat, peanut butter is the thing.
Crackers.
And you know what my best thing is?
What?
Peanut butter with vanilla wafers.
Oh, he loves those too. Yep.
That's the best way to eat your peanut butter.
Oh, yeah. It is good. When I was a kid, I would eat it by the spoonful.
Oh, I do now.
Oh, yeah.
I do now.
I don't do that much anymore. I don't know if my taste buds have changed.
Really?
But I don't crave it like I used to.
It's kind of a have to in my house for me, because if I'm craving something, I just need a bite of something, a bite of peanut butter. It is. But it does have sugar in it. But I have learned I can make my own, and there's not sugar in my own.
Ooh, okay.
So
you'll have to make that.
We'll do that one day. Yeah.
Make your Dib's homemade peanut butter.
So I don't like to make these really, really big. But yes, it does get you kind of messy. These are really sweet, just like we were saying about the Martha Washington balls. So they're better if you make them kind of smaller.
So it's just a little treat, something.
Exactly.
Something.
So we're just going to take them, and we want to roll them up into kind of a smaller little ball, and we're going to put them on parchment paper, and then we'll put them into the freezer for just a few minutes before we dip them in chocolate. So once you get these in the freezer, then you can start melting your chocolate. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, if this is too soft for you you can put the whole bowl into the freezer and let it get a little bit firmer. We'll try this too.
There we go.
Put some powdered sugar on our hands and see if that'll help.
Yeah, that would probably help make it easier to roll.
Just put it in the fridge for just a few minutes so that they'll roll a little bit easier.
You can also butter your hands or powdered sugar your hands like we just did.
So there's multiple ways to.
But yummy, yummy.
So we'll continue rolling these out, and we're going to get some chocolate together, and I'll show you what they look like when we dip them in chocolate.
Be right back.
Now, after your peanut butter balls are ready and you've let them set in the refrigerator for 10 to 15 minutes, it's time to do your chocolates. And I'm using a double boiler, which is just a pan, 2 pans, with the bottom one having some water in it. And you just heat that water up and let the steam and the heat warm the chocolate that's in the pan on top. I have some Ghirardelli chocolate wafers that I'm melting. You could use the Candy Quick at the grocery store. It really doesn't matter. You could use chocolate chips. The only thing with chocolate chips is you do have to add some paraffin to make the chocolate harden, and it gives it a shiny look. But you want to stir it quite often. You don't have to stand over it constantly, but you want to stir your chocolate several times, because you'll think it's not. You'll think those wafers are not melted, but when you go to stir it, you'll see that they are melting. And I just check back every few minutes and just do a little stir to make sure that I'm getting those chocolates mixed up good. See, they're already starting to melt. It really doesn't take very long. And after they're all melted, you will have some good smooth, silky chocolate, which now, there we go. Chocolate is melted. You're going to be stirring it really good, and then you're going to take your peanut butter balls out of the fridge or the freezer. You've had them in there for 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to show you how I cover my peanut butter balls. And some people call these Buckeyes, and that's fine. I cover the whole thing. I think Buckeyes, you leave some of the peanut butter showing, and you can do that too if you want to. Mine are going to be covered all the way through. Doesn't that chocolate look nice? Good and melted. Okay, we're going to cover these peanut butter balls now with chocolate. So I just drop a few into my top of the double boiler. I've taken it off of the heat. If you leave it on the heat, sometimes the chocolate could get too hot and it gets thick and clumping up again. So I like to take mine off the heat. And I just drop a few in, and I cover them with the chocolate. And then I take them out with a fork and lay them over on some parchment paper. That's all I do. It's so simple. It's a really quick and easy recipe, and so good, especially if you're a peanut butter fan like me. And then after you've done those 4, 5, or 6, you can drop a few more into your chocolate and just continue on till you get them all covered in chocolate. And at the end, you might want to drop a little more chocolate on to make sure that you've got the whole peanut butter ball covered. Unless you're dipping them with your fingers and you're leaving some of it uncovered so it looks more like a Buckeye. What is a Buckeye anyway? I'm not even sure. But that's all there is to making these chocolate-covered peanut butter balls. It's such a good candy to make for the holidays. Got 2 more, my last 2 to cover. We've had a good time making chocolate candy. Mo and I have. We've done quite a few different things. I hope you're catching them all on replay or on YouTube or on Facebook. Now, after you've got all these covered, you're going to put them in the refrigerator for 10 to 15 minutes and let that chocolate harden. Or you can just let them sit out on the cabinet for a little bit longer and they'll harden. And your chocolate will stick to them. So now I am putting a little more chocolate on these just to cover up where the fork might have touched them. I don't make mine perfect. Some people may like them to be perfect, but I just like to cover them, make sure they're all covered with a little bit of chocolate. And that's all it takes. There we go. Good old peanut butter balls. Hope you enjoy yours.